Marvel just released their first official trailer for Avengers Doomsday, and it looks buns. Kidding, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. In all seriousness, this Doomsday saga slash phase, or whatever you want to call it, has been extremely disappointing so far. That disappointment for me stems from a lack of build-up for this movie. It seems like they're trying to replicate how good and successful of a villain Thanos was for the MCU, but are miserably failing. Based on what we've seen from the teasers and trailers, it seems like they're just throwing characters together in hopes to make a team to stop Doom. And so far, it just comes out looking very sloppy, at least from what we've seen. Though I do understand that there are likely some characters they're not showing us in the teasers and trailers in normal Marvel fashion, as we are bound to see multiple cameos in this film. Now, I'm not gonna lie and say I disliked all the cameos from past projects, because come on, most of them were sick. Keyword there though, most. Yes, I'm looking at you. I just really don't want the film to lack a well put together plot and just give us cameos and hype moments in return. Now, I do understand it's probably too early to say that, but I mean, since Endgame, half of the projects they've released have been just that. Before we move on to a deep dive of the trailer, let's take a brief recap of all the films that have built up this movie. The project to me that kind of starts the build up of this saga phase, whatever you want to call it, is Multiverse of Madness. Now, the movie was terrible. As The Rock said,
"It's the biggest piece of dog shit."
But the film was honestly likely to set up Kang rather than Doom, but I can see the connection it might have to Doomsday as it builds up the multiversal knowledge of what we have so far. And as we all know, RDJ is playing Doom, that might have a multiversal type of plot for that to happen. Now, this movie only really adds build-up if they do the multiversal route. Next project we have is Captain America: Brave New World, which was a pretty fun movie, but it was kind of mid in my opinion. Now, in the movie, there isn't much build-up towards Doomsday, but a vague post-credit scene in which the leader warns Sam something big is coming. After Brave New World, we have Thunderbolts, which in my opinion was a pretty good movie. A really fun movie at that. The movie builds up the new Avengers, with a Z, by the way, not an S. Please tell me you understand that.
Avengers. Avengers. With the Z, there is no copyright.
The post-credit scene of the movie shows something coming from outer space towards Earth. This is likely to be set up to happen in Avengers Doomsday. After Thunderbolts, we have Fantastic Four: First Steps, which was a pretty solid movie. The correlation mainly stems from the post-credit scene in where Reed and Stu's child, Franklin, is rubbing Doom's face with Doom's mask off. You weirdo, Doom, you disgust me, man. Now, the post-credit scene of these films isn't necessarily the only thing that builds up Doomsday, as they introduce new characters and establish others to have a more pivotal role in the franchise. This connects to Doomsday by fleshing out the variety of characters they have to choose from to wrap into the plot of Doomsday. Now, after that recap, let's do a breakdown of the trailer. First, we have Charles absolutely getting blinded by something insane happening out of the window. The setting looks to be the abandoned school for mutants, setting up some cool possible X-Men content in this movie. Now, I wouldn't really call it X-Men content, but I'll get to that later in the video. Then we see Doom's beautiful mask, which looks absolutely amazing, by the way. Just keep him away from children. Then we see Fantastic Four reading some familiar faces. And then with Thor, of course, doing some cool speech. From the looks of it, he's talking to a bunch of characters that we already know and are established.
By the way, what are these characters gonna do against Doom? Genuinely, except win with the power of friendship.
Thor is the only person in this picture that can actually single-handedly do damage to Doom. Sentry can make a difference too, but he was nowhere in the trailer whatsoever. Then we get to see Shuri, Namor, M'Baku, and other major characters of the Wakanda sector of the MCU. Then Thor going up against Doom, which looks absolutely sick. And then we have James Marsden in the Cyclops suit. By the way, that suit is absolutely amazing. Enough to make a grown man cry, seriously. Gambit and Shang-Chi throwing straight hands. Ben dapping up M'Baku. Mystique throwing hands with Yelena. It looks sick.
But I'm not gonna lie, the suit looks buns.
Some glimpses of cool action scenes. Mainly Thor getting sunned by Doom. Then, to wrap it up, we have Steve coming back, and that's it. Now, these cool moments don't downplay the issues I have with the build-up or the movie so far, how it looks, or just the concerns I have, not necessarily the issues. Now, something I picked up on, this is the main thing I'm going to talk about of the trailer, is Thor seems to like narrate the whole trailer, and he seems to get a lot of screen time in the clips shown, which I think is pretty cool, as he seems to like lead the pack of these put together characters, like I already mentioned in the video before. But I've seen a lot of people say this worries them, as they think it signals to his potential death, which honestly I can see. I mean, it's Doomsday. The MCU is basically doing a reset after Secret Wars, and they're probably gonna kill off another major character. The X-Men that are shown in the clips, I wish there were more X-Men characters shown in the teasers or trailers. Hopefully there is in the future trailers. But the X-Men team we've put together so far, or the main ones that are being shown, are Gambit, Mystique, Professor X, Magneto, I guess you could say. I mean, they're associated with, he's associated with X-Men, but he's not necessarily an X-Men member, as the opposition of them, but whatever. And Cyclops. Now, Cyclops looked absolutely sick, but I wish we would have seen a little more X-Men in this. The Fantastic Four looks awesome, though. I'm gonna be real with you. Like, the highlight of just seeing them is just B. Now, listen, I really do hope I'm wrong about this movie being buns. But that's it. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe, hit that post notification bell, comment down below what you think, what your thoughts are, anything you picked up on the trailers that I didn't talk about. And yeah, also go follow my TikTok at CarterTheNerd right here. And yeah, that's it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.